A six-fingered, six-toed giant humanoid with long red hair and red beard was allegedly shot by a U.S. Marine patrol that was looking for another missing American patrol in Kandahar, Afghanistan's second largest city of about 500,000 people. Afghanistan is between Iran and Pakistan, and Kandahar is located in the south of Afghanistan on Arghandab River, at an elevation of 3,310 feet. The testimonies of two soldiers who were there and wanted to remain anonymous were videotaped by California producer L.A. Marzulli. Quote, "It was a man at least 12 to 15 feet in height. This is a monster, red beard and hair, longish past his shoulders, a scarlet red color. According to witnesses, the giant pierced one of the army soldiers with a long spear that killed the soldier. Eventually, the U.S. Marine Patrol killed the violent, threatening humanoid by shooting it in the face for 30 seconds straight. Then, a U.S. helicopter arrived to lift the giant in a net to another transport that took the huge body to Ohio, likely Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. The pilot said he was told to land in a specific airport in Afghanistan where they had to pick up special cargo, and that absolutely no cameras were allowed. The pilot described his cargo this way, quote, "It was basically a dead guy who was extremely large. Our pallets are about 9 to 12 feet or so, and this guy was lying in a fetal position on the pallet, and he filled the pallet. He was around a 1,100-pound guy," close quote. One of the soldiers interviewed confirmed that the, quote, "red-haired, fair-skinned giant had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. After the soldiers submitted their after-action report, the soldiers were told by their top brass to rewrite the report in a particular fashion, presumably to remove any mention of a giant being," close quote. Another cover-up. Natives living in Afghanistan have long talked about fair-skinned, red-haired giants with 6 fingers and 6 toes and double rows of teeth that live in caves in that region and are cannibals. All of that extraordinary 2002 report is reinforced by a U.S. Navy SEAL for me, who I call Sam. He told me 2 years ago in the fall of 2017 that he also encountered an alien giant in Afghanistan. The U.S. Army was being decimated by something unknown and unexplained. One entire U.S. platoon was mysteriously wiped out, actually disappeared before they could find it. And he said military authorities were sending messages that wanted to know, quote, "what the hell is going on," close quote. So Sam was assigned to join another military team to find out more. And that's when he first smelled a being as he came around a corner and saw an 8-foot-tall, red-haired humanoid that smelled like rotten eggs with a strong sulfur odor. The humanoid seemed covered with some kind of armor that Sam wondered, was it biological or technological armor like artificial intelligence? Sam said that he knew firsthand from 1998 to 1999 that several dozen humans were found in the Balkan countries such as Serbia, Croatia, Bosnia, and Herzegovina, quote, "dead, gutted, spines pulled out of the body between the shoulders, decapitated, blood all over the place except for the man that was turned upside down and his spine had been ripped out of his body in the middle of his shoulders. And yet, for this man with the spine removed, there was no blood anywhere in or on his body, close quote. The U.S. Army investigated and flew many planes in and out with technologies to measure and analyze. And Navy SEAL Sam told me, quote, where the bloodless body was found, there were designs on the walls, and those designs seemed to turn our minds to mush after we looked at them. And the walls were made of some unknown composite material. We sealed up the entire area, and then the Army transported some non-human bodies back to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, close quote. Where do the 12 to 15 foot tall, red-haired, six-fingered, six-toed giants come from? Could they be the same giants discussed in the Bible as Nephilim? According to chapter 6 of Genesis in the Bible, the Nephilim were the six-fingered, six-toed giants born from the sexual intercourse between the sons of God, also called Nephilim, and the daughters of man before the deluge, a huge global flood after the alleged God decision to return Earth to its pre-creation state of watery chaos, and then remake the entire earth. Adding confusion to the word Nephilim is that when Nephilim is translated in Greek, it means Titan, like the Titans versus Zeus in Greece. But in Ezekiel chapter 32, verse 27, Hebrew scholars translate the word Nephilim to mean fallen. Thus, the word evolved to fallen angels for some, and these are supposed to be giants with 6 fingers and 6 toes. In other parts of the Bible, in 2 Samuel chapter 21, verses 16 to 22, it says, quote, and then there was another battle at Goth, where there was a giant who loved to fight. He had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot. Some ancient history researchers now do believe that the ancient source of all humans were extraterrestrials who had 6 fingers and 6 toes. Would that explain why the mathematical system of both ancient Sumer and Egypt was based on 12, not 10, meaning 12 fingers versus 10 fingers that we have now? There are 12-toed footprints in Anasazi petroglyphs in the canyon lands of Utah. There is a 12-fingered sky kachina in the tradition of the Laguna Hopi and the Pueblo Indians. The Brazilian Uga Mangulala believe their ancient fathers were white-skinned gods who came from the sky in golden vehicles 3,300 years ago. And those visitors had 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot, and told the Indians they came once every 6,000 years to share their knowledge on earth.